Is bizarre activity on the sun causing catastrophic disasters all over our globe? Michael Snyder reports. When you see a graphic that depicts the sun as just about as large as the Earth, you should just chuckle. The truth is that we are a tiny little rock compared to the giant ball of fire that we revolve around, and whenever that giant ball of fire becomes more active, that greatly affects what's happening on our planet. This is not a revolutionary concept, but a lot of people out there just can't seem to grasp it. Yes, the sun is a long distance away, 93 million miles from us, but without it, none of us could survive for long, and to say that it is absolutely enormous would be a massive understatement. The sun is 864,400 miles across. It's about 109 times the diameter of our Earth. The sun weighs about 333,000 times as much as our Earth. It's so large that about 1,300,000 planet Earths can fit inside it. Please just don't skim over those numbers. The sun is so large that we could literally fit 1.3 million Earths inside of it. That's incredible. Unfortunately for us, the sun is also becoming increasingly active. In fact, more than 160 sunspots were detected in the month of June alone. The sun produced over 160 sunspots in June, the highest monthly number in more than 2 decades. The data confirm that the current solar cycle, the 25th since records began, is picking up intensity at a much quicker pace than NASA and the U.S. National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration NOAA forecasted, sparking concerns of severe space weather events in the months and years to come. Just days ago, one sunspot grew to be 10 times wider than our Earth in just 48 hours, and it released an X-class flare that could have potentially caused major problems. An enormous, rapidly growing sunspot on the sun's surface has unleashed a mighty X-class flare, the most powerful type of solar flare the sun is capable of producing. The solar storm slammed into our planet, triggering brief radio blackouts in parts of the US and elsewhere, but it could have been a lot worse, experts warned. The enormous dark patch, named AR3354, emerged on the solar surface June 27, and within 48 hours had grown to cover around 1.35 billion square miles, or 10 times wider than our Earth. Space weather scientists were alarmed by the colossal sunspot's rapid emergence and feared it could spit out a barrage of potentially harmful solar storms, according to space weather. Scientists have known for a long time that when the sun becomes more active, it has a tremendous impact on our weather. So have we been witnessing unusual weather lately? We sure have. For example, a mega cluster of tornadoes just monkey-hammered the Chicago area. A mega cluster of tornadoes and thunderstorms have battered greater Chicago, leaving thousands without power and forcing hundreds of flights to be cancelled. Trees were uprooted and rooftops were ripped off as a series of tornadoes left a path of destruction on Wednesday amid the meteorological chaos. At least 8 tornadoes touched down in 4 counties in northeastern Illinois, including 4 in Cook County, which is home to Chicago, as officials warned people to take shelter. Chicago has never been known for tornadoes, but now we have entered a time when we should expect the unexpected. After the tornadoes had passed, one journalist said that he had never seen anything like this in Chicago before. Following the storm, journalist James Kay tweeted a photo of billowing, low-lying clouds sitting over Lake Michigan behind the city's skyline, commenting, "I've never seen anything like this in Chicago before." On the East Coast, 2 months of rain just fell on the state of Vermont in only 2 days, and it has caused the worst flooding in about 100 years. And we are being hit. We are being hit by disaster after disaster after disaster, and we're being told that this is the new normal. But I don't think I will ever consider this to be normal. On the other side of the world, India is dealing with catastrophic flooding too. Flooding in parts of New Delhi forced the city government to close all educational institutions in India's capital on Thursday and advised people to work from home, while warning that there would be water rationing after the Yamuna River broke its banks. Since the rainy monsoon season began June 1st, Delhi has recorded 113% above average rainfall, the Indian Meteorological Department said, and the rains in the hilly states to the north have fed the river's floodwaters. And as a result of the flooding and the unprecedented heat that has been hitting the country, the price of tomatoes in India has gone up by 400%. India's extreme weather is taking its tolls on crops, with tomato crops being hit especially hard. Tomatoes have become so expensive that shops need bodyguards to protect them, Vice News reports. Prices have soared by 400% in recent weeks, with a kilogram now costing more than a litre of petrol. Speaking of heat, Europe is being absolutely slammered right now. A heat wave named Cerberus had been baking Europe for days, and now a new heat wave called Charon is coming next. Another searing 47 degrees Celsius heat wave is already heading for Europe. Forecasters have warned, even as the continent remains on red alert and in the grips of a deadly weather system from the Sahara Desert. British tourists across the Mediterranean have been warned of the life-threatening effects of the sweltering heat after an anticyclone system called Cerberus expanded northwards. But as Cerberus exhausts itself, Italian weather forecasters are now predicting that another heat wave named Charon, after Hades, ferryman, will push temperatures back up to 43 degrees Celsius in Rome and as high as 47 degrees Celsius in Sardinia next week. Needless to say, Europe has had many heat waves in the past, but what we're seeing now is different. In Spain, the temperature of the ground actually reached 60 degrees Celsius on Thursday. Land temperature is now how hot the ground is to touch, in Spain reached upwards of 60 degrees Celsius in parts of southern Spain on Thursday, with the European Space Agency warning next week could break continental records. And that is hot. In case you're wondering, 60 degrees Celsius is 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Here in the United States, an absolutely massive heat dome is expected to cause temperatures to rise to dizzying heights in the days ahead. An unforgiving heat wave is gripping much of the lower 48, bringing triple-digit temperatures to the nation's three most populous states, California, Texas, and Florida, and is poised to set a litany of records. In the Southwest, readings are expected to climb as high as 130 degrees, while the southern plains and southeast will face an oppressive overlap between extreme temperatures and tropical humidity. Is there anyone out there that wants to claim that this is normal? Of course, it is not normal. And as I discussed yesterday, the truth is that we are starting to experience the apocalyptic weather of the end times all over the planet. And if you think that things are bad now, just wait until you see what's coming. Global weather patterns will continue to get even more unstable, and this is going to cause a lot of panic and fear. But this is not a time for panic or fear. This is time to become a person that you were meant to be, because God put you at this specific time in history for a reason. This is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, "My name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 70 Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to families and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of the latest updates. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the most important news. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media on Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is on End of the American Dream by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.